Hi, Jake here. Just an update. It's day 48 and we hit one of our goals this morning. I went in and weighed and I was 240.0 pounds. So that's exactly 25-pound loss. So we're going to call this a little update. 25 pounds down, only 75 more to go. But it's a quarter of the way, so I guess we're all right. I was surprised, but I've been slowly dropping the quarter pound pretty much every day. I'm not gaining, so that's nice, and whatever I'm doing, it seems to be working. We're feeling good, so I can't complain there. So this is 1st of February 2019. Been on it for about a month and a half and 25 pounds, so I guess it's working. Rosalie is kind of upset that I'm eating basically the same stuff over and over again, and she thinks I need more variety in my diet. So we're going to maybe change a few things here that she wants to add some different stuff. So my Normandy mix for my vegetables and stuff, we're going to add a few things into that, and this time we're going to make our own Normandy mix with the broccoli and the cabbage, and going to add some celery to it, add Brussels sprouts to it, still going to slice up a little bit of zucchini squash in it, because it's, when I make a big batch of this and then I eat a bowl of it, it lasts 3-4 days. So the carb count is pretty much low because I'm eating only 2.5 cups in a bowl, plus my meat. Works good. She wants me to add asparagus, which is good, and the Swiss chard. Last couple of days she growed her own Swiss chard and got tons of it in the freezer, all froze up, ready to go. So that's going to be added, and Swiss chard is pretty much the same as spinach. So very, very healthy, low carb, no big deal. I've been following kind of Dr. Berry, Ken Berry, down below you'll see where I'm subscribed to his channel. And he's always saying that we should eat basically what our ancestors ate. And basically that's what I'm doing. When I was little, my grandmother used to keep a pot on the back of the stove. When I was growing up, we had a wood stove. We cooked on a wood cooktops, wood stove, heated with wood, all the way up till I was 18, went in the Air Force. We always cooked with a wood stove, and always on the back of the wood stove she'd have this big pot, and she'd throw a big old ham bone in there and some vegetables and let it simmer, or a beef bone, and whatever she was making, junk went into that pot, and it just stayed on the back of the stove and cooked. I remember when we were little, you'd get down there and go to light the stove up, in this pot had this big old thick layer of fat on it, all hard. I remember when I was little, I'd poke holes in it. I don't know, but I just remember that I'd always poke my finger into that fat, and it was hard, and you could poke a hole in it, and there was liquid underneath. And then when we got the fire going and everything, and then it would slowly melt and blend back in with the broth that she was cooking. And then when she needed something, she'd take a ladle and put it into whatever she was cooking with or making, and then if she had vegetables in it, like I said, it was beef broth, or I remember she thought old rangy old rooster that she chopped his head off because he took after and nailed her with his spurs. That was old Pecker. Us kids used to tease that rooster, and he got kind of mean, and my grandma was out there in the hen house, and old rooster thought he was going to take her on. Old Pecker thought, and nailed her well. We come home from playing down by the river, and there was old Pecker in the pot, and us kids had to eat Pecker because that was our punishment for making him mean, because we'd tease him all the time. But it was always that pot on the back of the stove, and you know, she'd change it every 3-4 days. It would be something else, so we'd eat it, and she'd can up the broth or the vegetables or whatever. I don't remember. I was only little then, but that was basically the way her grandmother and her mother's great-grandmother, they always had that pot of something, and you always had, you know, you had your meat, and then you had a bowl of whatever was in that pot, and it was always cooked vegetables going in it or something. I remember she always was growing something that had to go in that pot. So that's basically how I'm doing it, and it seems to work. I mean, I'm just going right back to the way I was when I was little. Big old chunk of meat, my vegetables. It's great. Just reminds me of home. So that's basically where I'm coming from. It works for me. So, you know, Dr. Berry talks about where we come from. Well, all my ancestors came from Scandinavia. My great-grandmother came from Finland, and my great-grandfather came from Sweden on my grandmother's side, and on my grandfather's side, they came from Norway, so I'm kind of covered everything there. So, and that's basically how they used to eat hundreds of years ago. I always had some sort of a pot brewing, and you just keep adding junk to it, and it just kind of stayed on the fire. That's how I was told in the olden days how my family kind of ate. I remember that. So, what else do I got here? That I wanted to tell that little story is to see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, skin condition. I noticed some of my age spots aren't quite as dark as the other. I noticed on my introduction video, there's only this, which I can't, other way. I guess it's that little age spot right there. I don't know if it's melanoma or what, but it's not as noticeable as it was when I first did my introduction video. So we'll see how that works. I'm keeping an eye on that because that would fester up every once in a while, and now it's nice and soft and really good. So blood pressure, I checked my blood pressure today, and it was like 140 over 84 or something, real normal for me, so that's good. So it should even get better as I drop the weight, so that's working out. But I just wanted to do an update, 240.0, so can't complain. Other than that, we're changing up. I'm making my own Normandy stuff, and we went and bought all the stuff and chopped it all up, put it in bags. So how I just have to empty the bag into my pot, cook it up, and it's good for 3-4 days. So that's good. So other than that, just quick hidey-ho to everybody, and as we go, we'll keep updating. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.